Welcome everybody to the Arturo Modelo Road to Glory finale. I know it's been a couple of weeks since the last episode. When I started this series, I had intended for this to be done by the time Madden came out. Unfortunately, that did not happen, so that's why it's been a couple of weeks. But we are back here for the final episode as we wrap up our senior season, going through the SEC Championship and hopefully the College Football Playoff as we look to finally win a national title. Here in our senior year, things have gone pretty well. In the last episode, we made the decision to transfer to Ole Miss. I wanted to stick with Miami, but after feeling like they disrespected us towards the end of our junior season, we decided to make the move, and it has paid off. 122 catches for 1,995 yards in the regular season, and a whole lot of touchdowns. We've gotten at least 100 yards in all but one game. At least a touchdown in all but one game, and at least 10 catches in all but 2 or 3. And as you can imagine, that has put us in first place of a very close Heisman race, along with in first place for multiple other awards, including the Player of the Year, the Best Receiver, and obviously All-American status for the NCAA and the SEC. We're going to go through our final career numbers today, and of course those Miami numbers are partially incorrect. I will plug in the correct ones so we can see our actual final career tallies. But we're looking to break some all-time marks. We've already set the receiving yards record. We're hoping to break the receptions record. We're pretty close. And then touchdowns, I don't think we're going to sniff that one. But hopefully we get catches and yards. We're an 88 overall. We've improved a lot here as a senior. And hopefully we can have a good final showing on the field. And that starts with the SEC Championship against Texas A&M. Now, interestingly, A&M is technically the SEC leader because they beat us earlier in the year, but they're not one of the 5 highest-ranked conference champions. Apparently, there's 2 Group 5 champs over A&M, which is a little bit funny to think about. Now, I do think if A&M wins this game, they'd probably pass one of those Group 5 teams, specifically Western Kentucky, because having beaten Ole Miss twice would be a big resume booster. So we're certainly looking to avoid that, get this win, cement not only a playoff spot, but a top 4 seed. Since we're ranked number 4 currently, I think it's a given that we'd get a top 4 spot. We'd get a first-round bye. It'd be cool to play a game at campus for one more home game, but I'd rather get the bye and not worry about it, setting us with hopefully 3 opportunities to win and take home a national title. Now, if we lose this game, there's still a good chance that we make the playoff, but I'd rather ensure it. So because of that, we're going to be treating this much like a playoff game, and we will get the ball here. A&M already with a touchdown, so the defense is not off to particularly a great start, as it looks like a screen. I'll hang on to this one, and I don't get much, maybe a yard or 2. Let's go later in the first quarter. We would score on that drive, although I only caught the one pass for 2 yards. Here I am downfield. I get the reception here, and that'll go for a first down. A nice play here, moving the Ole Miss offense into the red zone here in the second quarter. But unfortunately, the quarterback, A.J. Maddox, would fumble the ball. And it's picked up by the Aggie defense, and it looks like he's going to take it all the way for a scoop and score, and the Texas A&M Aggies take the lead. That's number 61 with the score, Brinkley. For those of you who watch the Kansas Dynasty, I know exactly what you're thinking. And yes, this is our good friend, Dekias Brinkley, who has apparently transferred to Texas A&M, and now he is scoring touchdowns against us in this series, whereas in the Kansas series, obviously, he is our standout freshman defensive end. So now it's 14-7, we're trailing, but I'm looking to change that quickly. Down the field, 15-10. Not quite able to get all the way. If only I had that breakaway speed. But still a huge gain to around the 11-yard line, and that'll put the Ole Miss offense in position to tie the game. We would. A&M would get a touchdown. We get a field goal on the following possession, and so it's 21-17 late in the first half as I make that catch, and I'm out of bounds, stopping the clock. 1st and 20 now from the 33. You guys know the drill. No block, no rock. Even as a senior, we're still trying to give our teammates opportunities. From the opposing 34 with 20 seconds left, here I am up the middle. I hang on to this one. That'll go for a first down. And we're going to be taken out of the game here. I think we're out of timeouts, so that's not good. And ultimately, we would not score on this possession. So A&M keeps their lead going into halftime, and that brings us into the third quarter. We do start with the ball, but it feels like we fumbled that last possession as on first down. Nice little out route. Unable to keep the feet in. It's incomplete. I was just under the 100 yards mark in the first half with 99 as it's now 3rd and 10. Again, nice little out route. That one is caught, and it will go for a first down as it's a gain of 11 or 12, and the offense is moving the chains. But it's a 1st and 20 now after a penalty, so we've got to get out of this situation as I'm, again, cutting towards the sidelines. I get this one, and we're able to make up the yardage from the penalty and then some. 3rd and 5 now from the 34. Ultimately, we lose yardage, and we're at the 36. It's not necessarily prime field goal range, so I would suspect we're not going to score on this possession, and ultimately A&M still has the lead. They wouldn't score on their following possession, though. The defense holds, but we would turn it over on the next possession, and it's going to be another defensive touchdown for A&M. This time it's J.D. Curry, the corner, who's been covering me for most of the game. This time he was on one of the other receivers. He's able to force the turnover and take it to the house. Another defensive touchdown for the Aggies, and they are up by 11. If this is a tune-up game for us going into the playoffs, we're not exactly passing the test. Out of bounds, gaining 10, nearly a first down. 3rd and 4 now from around the 42-ish yard line. Looking to convert this first down. As I go up the middle, I hang on to it, breaking the tackle. I feel like I could have gotten a little bit more there if I was able to cut to the outside. But still, I'm surprised I broke the initial hit to begin with, so I guess I can't really complain. 30 seconds left in the third. Up the middle, another first down, and that's going to send us to the 20. 10 catches for $158. Final play of the third, the signature Arturo out route. It goes for 7, and now going into the fourth quarter, we're trailing by 11, but we're marching. We've got the ball in the red zone. This game is far from over. I mean, look at the difference in terms of yards for these two teams. We have more than doubled the amount of yards they do, but with their 2 defensive touchdowns, they're up by 11. 3rd and 3, another out route, and I'm able to keep the feet in. Body control, that's what I preach with receivers, especially bigger ones. 1st and goal from the 4. I hang on to this one for a score. It's Modelo time for the 23rd, 24th. I don't know. I've lost count. We've scored a lot of touchdowns this year. 28-23. We're going to go for 2 now and try to make it a clean 3-point game. They're going to keep us in here for the 2-point try as well. And interestingly, the initial play call was for a screen. That seems like a horrible idea. Let's throw the ball not in the end zone. Let's throw it behind. Genius. Yeah, no, we're going to change the play call. So here's the 2-point try. Right to me. Diving catch, and I'm able to stay in for the 2-point conversion. 8 points on that possession for number 8. It's an octopus. And best of all, our defense got the stop. So it's a 3-point game as we get it back. Another solid reception there goes for around 9. The quarterback, A.J. Maddox, is now over 400 yards on the day. 2nd and 1 from the 29. Curls get the girls. Another first down. 15 for 193 for yours truly. Continuing to play at my best when the lights shine the brightest. Another first down. 200 yards on the day. I think this game as a whole has been my Heisman moment, if you will, as I look to clinch the award for good. 3rd and 7, nearing the 2-minute warning. Who else is Maddox going to throw the ball to? A first down! And now we've got it at the 26. And look at this. I'm wide open! Caught! Touchdown! It's Modelo time once again. For the 2nd time this quarter, Ole Miss takes the lead. That's my favorite play in our playbook, the all-go play, where I'm lined up behind another one of our receivers, and the 2 defensive backs usually follow the other receiver, which means I'm wide open running a streak down the field, and I'm going to come down with a wide open reception for a big gain, and this time it goes for a score. Without a doubt, one of my best games of my career. Hopefully it's enough for the defense to get one more stop, win this game for good, and no. At least they scored quickly, I guess, so now we're going to have time. 3rd and 1. I hang on to this one for a first down, and that would lead us to scoring a touchdown and ultimately winning the game. Ole Miss comes back in the SEC Championship, 39-35. We are officially going to the college football playoff. We're officially getting a first-round bye. 535 passing yards and 4 scores for A.J. Maddox. My goodness, an aerial attack from the Ole Miss offense here in a close, come-from-behind victory against Texas A&M, and a big day for me individually, scoring twice. Caught the ball a lot of yards, and obviously the 2 touchdowns of the fourth quarter to help the comeback. Here we are with the trophy, my second consecutive season winning a conference title, being that we, of course, won it last year with Miami, and if not for that conference title, we wouldn't have made the playoffs with the Canes. This year, it was a little different, a little less pressure, but ultimately, we were able to score the touchdown late and win the game. So obviously, we saw the numbers for Maddox. Pretty good. He had a busy game. The run game was also pretty solid, and then for me, 19, 250, and 2 scores. Not too bad. So we end up winning the SEC championship, and hopefully we move up a little bit in the rankings, but regardless, we're going to be a top 4 seed, which is ultimately what matters the most. Let's simulate the week. Do we win the Heisman Trophy? No, not yet. We do win the SEC Offensive Player of the Week and the National Player of the Week, which is odd because I didn't even win the Player of the Game. But no news on awards. I'm hoping that's because they just haven't announced them yet. But we can see the other scores in the conference championships, and thus we know what the college football playoff is. So here you go. We are officially the number 2 seed in the playoff. We'll play against the winner of Wisconsin and Ohio State in the first round. Let's simulate once again. I think this is where we're going to find out the awards and whatnot. So here we go. Player of the Year in 2027 for Arturo Modelo. The Heisman Trophy winner. No surprise, but an honor that we're able to take home college football's most prestigious award. 2027 Best Receiver. 2027 First Team All-SEC. First Team All-American. Racking up the hardware, including most notably the Heisman, the first receiver since Devontae Smith in 2020 to ultimately do it. Now, interestingly, they're not putting my awards in the awards tab. That seems pretty pointless, but okay. We break the single season record for receiving yards in a season. I think my second touchdown in the fourth quarter is the play that did it, that gave us the lead. I'm pretty close to the receptions mark and pretty close to the touchdowns mark, so I'm hoping I'll be able to set those as we're going to play against Ohio State here in the second round of the playoff in the Sugar Bowl. They beat Wisconsin 38-20, and we'll face off against the winner of Michigan and UCLA. A lot of Big Ten teams here with Ohio State, Wisconsin, Michigan, UCLA. As you can see, we are the number 2 team, only behind South Florida, the only power conference school with 2 losses or less. So here we go, the Sugar Bowl, my second career playoff game. Our first one was last year, and while I caught 23 passes, tying an NCAA single game record, our team didn't perform too hot. I was really the only guy who showed up. And then, of course, Miami disrespected us by moving us down the depth chart. That ultimately led us to transferring away. So hopefully that is not the case again here at Ole Miss, considering we're a senior. And this is our last opportunity to win a national title and go through the college football playoff. So obviously, we're hoping for a little bit more luck and a little bit more success from the rest of the team in comparison to last time. So let's get this show on the road. The Sugar Bowl, Ohio State, and Ole Miss. So let's get this game underway. We will start with possession of the football as we've got it at the 46-yard line. Pretty good opening field position to start things off here on second down. I haul in this out route. It goes for a gain of around 8. We haven't played many teams as good as Ohio State. And as you can see, we're already in the second quarter. There's no score. I've only caught the ball once. I was open on that play, but Maddox didn't send it my way. He is not targeting me. I've only gotten 1 target, let alone 1 reception. At the very least with Miami last year, even though our team sucked in that game, at least they gave me the ball. That has not been the case here today. I'm open up the middle. Finally, a big play as it gets past the 45 for just my second reception of the game. Now it's my favorite play, the all-go play. This is my opportunity to really make my mark. The 2 corners are going to follow. I'm kind of open. Not really. It's broken up in the secondary. There's a minute and a half left here in this first half, and we haven't scored. Now, luckily, our defense is playing one hell of a game. They have not scored either, as I'm unable to hang on to the ball there on 3rd and 1. A.J. Maddox sends me a hospital ball, and ultimately that is potentially going to lead to a field goal. No, we didn't score because apparently these teams are allergic to scoring. We will get the ball back with under 30 seconds left. Still scoreless. I guess I'm not going to get the ball. No block, no rock. Might as well try to help him out. As that gets us to the 34, we're going to call a timeout, and hopefully that'll put us in range to kick a field goal, which we would. Going into the third quarter, finally some points. It's now 3-0. If we want to win, I feel like they've got to throw me the ball as I get the first down. Ohio State only has 2 first downs the entire game. Our defense has had a gem today, and we're wasting it. From the 21, up the middle. Nice gain of around 11 or 12, so at least Maddox is looking my way more. Obviously, we know when I had the ball, good things generally happen for this offense. I'm open downfield. Maddox with plenty of time to throw it, and I'm able to make the play up the middle to the 43-yard line. As you can see, though, Ohio State has scored. So they now lead this game 7-3. We'll see if our offense can respond here on this possession somewhat late in the third. On 2nd and 9, the signature Arturo out route. That goes for another first down. I'm relieved that Maddox is actually throwing me the ball now. I feel like our offense might be in business. Up the middle, bringing it to around the 11. 7 for 113. In a vacuum, those numbers aren't too bad, but when you throw in context, it's not great. Now, we would score on that last possession, and I'm able to make a really nice catch here, bringing it to the 37-yard line. So we've got the lead. We're driving down the field. The offense, again, continuing to be productive. With 6 to go, up the middle on 3rd and 14, another conversion. Huge play after the catch, 9 for 155. I am now in my element. 1st and goal from the 5, 4:20 left to go here in the 4th. Looking for another touchdown, up the middle. I've got it for a score. But there's a flag. It's an illegal man downfield on the left tackle, and the touchdown will be taken off the board. Not ideal, so we've got a rebound. 1st and goal now backed up at the 10. Here towards the side, I've got space, and I am in for a touchdown. It's Modelo time after all. Have no fear, the penalty will not stop me from striking the Heisman pose. You're kind of supposed to strike it before you win the award. I didn't get to do that in the SEC Championship. I wish I did. But, hey, better late than never. Striking the pose in the end zone. Ole Miss is up by 10. We are in a good position. We shouldn't blow it. Now, Ohio State would score a touchdown quickly. They're not out of this game. But we just got to chew clock and be smart. Don't do anything stupid. 2nd and 10. Gain of around 6. That'll do. 3rd and 4 now. They want to run a screen for me. I love it. Give your best player the ball in the biggest situation. But that would bring us to the 2-minute warning, and now we're running an entirely different play. So the team's going to run the ball. No block, no rock. Ezekiel Ugo does not get it. He only gains 3. And now the defense has got to get a stop. Ohio State's offense has had a rough day, but they did just score on their last possession. Defense, I need you here. Get this stop. When is this game? And they don't get the stop. So we're down. But we've got our best play to start this possession, and we've got plenty of time. Minute 24, all 3 timeouts. Let's execute this play perfectly. I'm wide open, and it's overthrown! I was open. The entire route was executed perfectly. The defenders bit, but A.J. Maddox overthrows the pass. Luckily, we get a first down on the next play. It's a gain of around 10. Out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 35. 2nd and 8 now at the 37, little over a minute. And it looks like they got the sack. 3rd and 15 now. Got to convert here, otherwise it'll be a 4th down. We decided not to call the timeout, so we've got to move quickly. Looks like it's an out route, and it's nearly intercepted. Another bad throw. I was open, but he underthrew it, and they're taking us out of the game for 4th down. The most important play of our season, and the best player's not in. Odd. 4th and 15. Penalty against the offense. And ultimately, Ohio State got the stop anyway. So they're going to try to finish this game off for good. They kick a field goal. We're going to get the ball back. Okay, we're only down by 7. We're down, but we're not out. 34 seconds, no timeout, 7-point game. First play of the drive is picked off. Again, I was kind of open, but A.J. Maddox underthrows me. And unfortunately, that interception and that route will be my final collegiate play. Ole Miss comes up short in the college football playoff, losing to Ohio State 24-17. Another game that's ultimately going to leave a really bad taste in my mouth. We wasted this game and could have easily won it. In the first half, Ohio State had 2 first downs, but the offense struggled. A.J. Maddox has been an awesome quarterback all year. I don't want to dog on him too much, but I feel like he's largely responsible for losing this game. In the first half, he didn't get his best player the ball. And then down the stretch, late in that fourth quarter, he had chances to get it to me. Look at the wide open ball that I could have had for a touchdown. We were down by 4 with a minute and a half. And of course, that last play as well. I had separation on the slot corner. If he puts a little bit more loft into that pass, I'm coming down with it. Maybe it's not a touchdown, but it's a big gain of at least probably 30 yards. Even though I had 12 for 182 and a touchdown, I feel like I was maybe a little bit disappointed. And again, it certainly didn't help that me and the quarterback were not on the same page. So an unfortunate ending to my senior season, and I will go through my entire collegiate career without winning a playoff game. And these 2 playoff losses last year to Kansas State and now this year to Ohio State, they feel very different to each other. In the Kansas State game, I was the only guy who showed up. Here, I mean, the defense showed up, but 1.3 yards per carry, that's not ideal. A.J. Maddox was fairly efficient throwing the ball, but down the stretch, when it mattered, unfortunately, the kid came up short. Now, as much as I would love to run it back here with Ole Miss, even though this is a depressing ending, I would love to come back next year. But the problem is, I'm out of eligibility. This is the end of the road. My final collegiate game, 12 for 182 and a score, capping off one of, if not the greatest collegiate careers for a wide receiver of all time. Now, funny enough, Ohio State got blasted in the next round by their rival, Michigan, who ended up winning the national championship over Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers made the championship. Okay. So let's recap my collegiate career and let's recap the series. I've got some skill points. I might as well use them. So I'm now an 89 overall. I think I started as what? As 67? So that's 22 rating points over 4 years. Let's take a look at my senior season by game. I mean, the week-by-week numbers speak for themselves. Just an unbelievable season. And then I was able to tally in some totals from last year, and those are my career stats. 445 catches, 6,300 yards, and 46 touchdowns. The receiving yards and the receptions are both national records. Touchdowns, I didn't get enough at Coastal. I think I only had 9 through my 2 seasons with the Shots. If I was able to pace myself like I did this year, I would have been close to 100. I was pretty close to some single game records. I tied the receptions record in a game last year, of course, in the playoff. But now it is time to leave for the NFL. And obviously, for those of you who have been around the channel, you guys know what happens next in the Arturo Modelo story. Gets drafted by the St. Louis Dragons in the Madden 24 franchise and obviously has an illustrious career, Offensive Player of the Year, 2-time, I think he was a 2-time, maybe a 3-time, multi-time Super Bowl champion, multi-time Best Receiver Award, All-Pro, Hall of Fame, an illustrious professional career here for Arturo Modelo. And it was fun to go back in time and go through his college career and rewrite history a little bit by transferring to Ole Miss at the end rather than sticking at Miami, which of course is what he did in the actual series. Let me know what you thought of this series down below in the comments. Certainly something a little bit different. Obviously, I'm more of a franchise person as opposed to create a player, and this was a little bit different for me, but I still enjoyed it. And again, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comments. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.